All right. You are now back to the BTonez Podcast. We back again, man. Just blessed to be alive. You know how we are over here. Have you ever wanted to know what is some of the basic gifts that you can give somebody else, like a love language, something you can offer to somebody else, a way you can show value? Well, today, man, I got one of my good brothers in the house with me, Mr. Tony Hardy, who is head of a organization called KickDreamsUnited. And I'm going to just let him explain what his organization is all about, some of the incredible things that they've done. But let me not talk too much about it. I'm going to go ahead and bring him to the stage right now. Mr. Hardy, how you doing this morning?
Oh man, I'm blessed. Listen, thank you so much for having me on, bro. I call you big bro because I was sweet mates at Oakwood with your little bro. So no, man, thank you so much. I feel so honored to be on, man. It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing, true blessing.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, tell me a little bit about this organization called KickDreamsUnited. Like how did that dream, formulate? And what were some of your initial steps in putting this together? Just give us a little bit of word about that.
Listen, Brad. We were raised to go to school, get the good grades, go to college. Find a decent job. I was blessed enough to attend Oakwood and matriculate through college and have solid education. But what I found was, Brad, made it to these jobs, got the good paying job and everything, but I'm miserable. I can't stand it in there, man. Thought it was going to be a certain way. A lot of times you apply for things and the whole description is completely different from what you signed up for. So listen, I got fired straight up, man. Got fired, and my mother and I are very close. So we were having breakfast about 10 years ago. In September, it'll be 10 years ago. We had breakfast. Sharing with my mother how, listen, it was unfortunate to get fired from somewhere that I was relying on, income and, then worked my way all the way up in the government field. She said, Tony, you know what? There's more to you than that job. And I was sharing with my mother how different podcasts, different YouTubers were getting flown out to Jordan's house to test the performance of his shoes at his house in his gym. I said, Mom, check this out. Me and my mom are very close. I love her wisdom, her ideas. She always have these incredible ideas. She said, you know what, Tony, that's great, but you could do something that's original to you. Everybody's doing that. They got the sneaker con, the YouTubers, reviewing sneakers, which is great. I was inspired by them. But she said, you know what, Tony, think of that, but your twist on it. So we're downtown in Baltimore eating breakfast. And I was like, what do you think that could be? She said, Tony, you've always been a very generous person, right? You love sneakers. What's that look like? Yeah, man, I had I think they were the 98 Kobe Adidas at my house. We went back home. The next day, I had about 5 pairs of shoes at the crib. My mom and I went downtown. I had a little GoPro. We filmed it. Man, it felt so good, Brad, to give those shoes away. And it was like therapy for me. Just got fired. Was kind of going through some of my own anxieties, at the time, trying to figure out what's this anxiety, finally, because I think I had it all my life, but we didn't know what it was back then. Yeah, looking at some of this stuff in the mirror and facing it. Kick Dreams was my therapy, bro. So we went from 5 pairs of shoes that day to coming back home with my mom. Ma, that felt good. That felt great. And for that 15 to 20 minutes we were out there, it doesn't matter what I was stressed about, whether I got fired or not, I was free. Mentally free. Wasn't thinking about nothing. All that mattered was the connection I shared with those individuals downtown, right? And it was beautiful, man. I came back home. I was like, Mom, what do you think we should call this? I was like, Kick Show or something. She's like, no, that's not similar. What about Kick Dreams? She told me Kick Dreams.
Oh, nice. She came up with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was like, what about Kick Dreams United? So it came about, bro. I hit up my boy Othniel, man. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
He did this design for us. Started an Instagram page, and it's been nonstop ever since. Man, we got the first week we opened our Instagram page. A company named Shooting Touch reached out to us. Already established. We had maybe one post. And they were like, listen, I love what you guys do. Can y'all send us 100 shoes to Rwanda?
Ooh.
We didn't have 100 pairs, bro. I
know.
maybe 50 pairs. Yeah, we just getting started.
Yeah.
So I talked to my mom. She's like, listen, tell them yes, and we'll make a way. Sure enough, bro, we sent them 200 pairs by word of mouth, by church, by friends, by family. Nothing but the grace of God, bro.
To Rwanda, you said?
Rwanda, man. Yes, sir.
Man. All right, so you get, man, listen. I'm already, it's about like I got shoes sitting in front of me right now in the office that I'm in. I want to take a pair, just get back. I got too many Timberlands. I'm an East Coast boy to my bones. You know what I'm saying? I got like about 6 pairs of Timbs, and I only wear like 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? I need to give some of these things away. But I want to go back and talk about just some realities that you faced, and I know a lot of other people are facing even right now to this day. We see what's going on in the economy and what's going on in America right now, and there are increased risks of higher prices and inflation and everything. And if you are currently working like a 9-to-5 job that's unfulfilling and unsatisfying, you are going to start having those thoughts about, is there something else I can do? Tony was put in a position to where he got laid off. I mean, so even if it was almost like you noticed that you weren't being fulfilled, and then your answer came in way of something that a lot of people fear, you know? Yeah. I equally can share that idea to the fact, like in the beginning of March, I took the government buyout to leave my federal position to pretty much all in with what I'm doing right now with ToneMasters, with the services that we provide. And, I just been, I want to say grinding, but it's only been the Most High, man. He's been giving me wisdom day by day. He's been telling me what to do. He's been linking me up with the right people. We can only grind and do so much. But it's him that adds the increase, because prosperity and adversity all come from him, just like the word says. You know what I'm saying? So it's serious, because also you expressed the fact that you had anxiety, even though you didn't quite identify it as that back then, because we didn't get, like, growing up, we didn't get any counsel on these types of things. We just went through life, and especially with Black men, you know what I'm saying? Always told to keep it quiet, suck it up, keep it in, don't talk about nothing. Yeah. So any pains or traumas that we deal with, they are thrown into a pit inside of us, and they can have such deep, long-lasting effects. I know I've had my dealings with it as well. But the fact that you were blessed enough to have such a favorable outlet through giving. I mean, the word says it's better to give than to receive, and you're like walking proof of that. You know what I'm saying? Like the feeling that you felt, being able to help somebody who cannot help you back, has no possibility, not even the request of helping you, just being able to give is such a therapeutic practice, man. And it's something that I believe everybody should indulge in even more than they say that they do, because we all love getting stuff. We all love receiving, but the feeling that comes along with giving is so much more important, man. That's one of the reasons why this platform exists, so I can give people the chance to express themselves and talk about what they're passionate about and talk about what they're knowledgeable about. So, man, I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, I remember one time I came out with the church, and you guys were having an event in Southeast or somewhere in the city, somewhere in the district. We were like in an abandoned parking lot, and I was put in charge of the shoe sizes that were 13 and over. So we actually got a lot of pairs that were, of course, 13 and 14, but then we even got some 15s, 16s, and 17s, look like canoes on the ground. And I would look at the shoes, and I would be like, man, ain't nobody coming out here to get, like, ain't no Shaq ain't coming up out here to get those shoes, you know? And me being presumptuous, I said that, and then next thing I know, maybe like an hour later, this gentleman comes who is walking with a cane. He has, I believe the condition is called elephantitis in like both of his ankles. So like extremely swollen. And he may not regularly wear a size 16 or 17 shoe, but because of his condition, that's what he needs. And he came right over to us, man. And before he even got a chance to look through the shoes, I was like, bro, these joints are for you. And he looked at me, he's like, man, you have no idea. And the shoes that he had on, he showed me there was a hole in the sole of one. I think it was his left foot. There was a hole in, because he had been wearing them down. He was homeless and he was just dealing with stuff. And the look on his face when I handed him the shoes, he held them together like this. He was like, thank you, bro. Now, see, that's only for one weekend, but you experienced that perpetually, man. So, my next question, I just want to ask, just some of the testimonies that you've received, some of the things that you've seen, and how Kick Dreams United has impacted. I know you talked about Rwanda, but what are some of the other stories, maybe here or abroad, where people have been profoundly impacted by the giving of this organization?
Well, listen, first of all, man, I want to congratulate you, because God has given you an invitation to do kingdom work without being interrupted by something that doesn't fulfill you. And I think, just to go back, we were talking about people not feeling fulfilled. There's nothing wrong with the 9-to-5 job, man. But I think it's so powerful when the Spirit speaks to you for a higher calling. At the job, before I got fired, you talk about fear. I had tremendous fear because God told me directly, Tony, you need to leave this job. I was sitting down. I had about 3 bosses. Who has 4 bosses? And like, Tony, listen. Like, well, who needs that many bosses? Yeah, man. Tony, you need to get this right, get that right. I just remember distinctively God saying, you need to leave. But, had a household, breadwinner. Why would I leave something that I worked so hard for? That's a good, stable job.
Yeah.
Right? So some months go past, I get fired. So God is saying, listen, if you don't want to walk, I'm gonna have to pull you out. So I had a conversation with my mother. She said, Tony, this is gonna be one of the best things to happen to you. And since then, we've been able to triple our giving. So I just wanted to share that to say, watch out, bro, because he's got a lot for you, man. He's got a lot planned for you in that regard. We get fearful about things that we're uncertain about because we can't see it.
Come on, man.
But I think that's where he wants us to build faith in those areas that we can't see. Because if we could see, why would we feel like we need God? And what you described with the fellow with the banana boat shoes, man. Listen, that's love. What you just described is love, right? It's bigger than the shoes and all that. That brother felt love from you. And that love is contagious. And who knows how many different levels of love he's passed on and he's felt that may have saved somebody's life. So I want to bring this story up, talking about testimony.
Okay.
We partner with Naps from Oakwood.
Yeah.
If people aren't familiar with them, they're a giving organization that travels abroad to Africa and other countries to give. And Oakwood being my alma mater, we came back one alumni and they asked us to contribute shoes to their movement. They were headed to Africa, and as they were distributing shoes out to people, they came across a brother who hadn't taken his shoes off, man, for I think a couple of weeks or so. He hadn't even taken his shoes off.
All right.
So when they took his shoe off, they realized he had an extreme, like a bacteria infection.
Oh, man.
Nasty. And so if it wasn't for our connection, our collaboration, we don't know when he would have taken his shoes off. This brother, they came back and told me, Tony, listen, if we, I don't know how long it would have been before this guy would have changed his shoes out. They don't have new shoes out there. Long story short, this saved his life. Us being able to see his feet, we were able to get him to the hospital, take care of his foot, save his foot. and he gets to live, man. This brother was gonna die if he didn't hit up that hospital, man. So it's stories like that makes you recognize, when God's talking to you, better listen, man.
Yeah.
Because it's bigger than me. It's bigger than me, So I just feel blessed to be in this position to do something I love and just follow God, man. It's all about His glory, bro. There's other testimonies, but that's one that really stands out to me, man. Just recently, we had an event last month, and we partnered with my brother Marlo Hargrove. We call him the hardest working man in Baltimore. His organization is called Face Baltimore, Freedom Advocate Celebrating Ex-Offenders. We had an event, and my brother Mark, I call him Mark Skate, man. That brother's a godsend. He was there with me, giving these shoes out. He called me over. He said, "Tone, I need you over here, man. There's this couple. They seem to be pretty emotional. We didn't know why, but they seem to be having a really hard time. They had some shoes and everything, but my brother Mark called me over there to pray with them. And before we prayed, they were mentioning to us that they had just had a miscarriage with twins.
Oh, mercy.
With twins, bro. The day prior. I don't even know how they got out the house.
Right.
So I prayed with them, but little did they know we experienced that same issue prior to our daughter. We had a miscarriage. So I was able to, in that prayer, pray, Lord, please give them the comfort that you were able to provide to my wife and I. And that I was tearing up myself, man. So I've had other experiences where people are overjoyed for the shoes. People tell me their life stories more than I can even recall back. But those two instances, and the latter being the most recent, it's just great for God to give you that reminder, because He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to give you those reminders that are parallel to our lives. But the fact that He will pause and make it so plain that, listen, I have you here for a reason. Your life is in my hands. So just incredibly grateful, bro.
You mentioned it when you spoke before, the preparation that sometimes we don't know we're going through for what's down the line is so significant. I want to speak to that for a second, because I've learned recently, especially with the group of good friends and entrepreneurs that I've surrounded myself with, the power of being grateful, power of gratitude. And I know it's very cliche right now. A lot of people are talking about it, but what seems to be lacking are the tangible steps to practice gratitude so that you can always be in a position to be open to receiving more. Because that's essentially what God does. When you're consistently grateful for already what you have, especially to an extreme degree, you open yourself up for giving more. Because think about it. If you were giving something to somebody and they kept coming back to you, say, Tony, man, I really appreciate this, man. This is changing my life. I'm so grateful for this. Wouldn't you be compelled to give more to them? Of course you would. And I want to talk about that because, you, like you said, you experienced a major trial with your wife. And I know you have a daughter right now, pride and joy, cute as well, look just like both of y'all, man. It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
It's it was something that I can perceive, fathom was extremely difficult in the time. So you were able to be empathetic on a level that a lot of people might not have been able to resonate with because they didn't go through that specifically. So I bring all this to mind because whatever anybody is going through, we can always look at it as some, big problem or some trial that we didn't ask for, and we can be unpleasant in the midst of it, but not realizing that our Father, He knows what's coming down the line. Like when you got fired, He knew the KickDreamsUnited was right around the corner. That's why He was like, yo, you got to get up out of here. because Kick Dreams United needs to come on about. Like, I didn't even give the words to your mother yet, but y'all about to formulate the plan, and then y'all gonna send 200 kicks to Rwanda because I need those people down there. There's a brother down there in Africa who Naps is going to see, who hasn't taken his shoes off for 3 weeks, and if you don't get Kick Dreams United started, we ain't gonna be able to save his life. You see how that all works?
Have mercy, bro. Have mercy. I'm getting chills, and it's 90-something plus outside.
Hey, man, it might be 9,600 plus outside. That's super hot right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it always amazes me when we can sit back and see how good our Father in heaven is, man. We can see his work. We may not be able to see it at the time, but if we give him time and we trust in him, surely he's going to turn stuff around to where not only are we going to be blessed, but we're going to be able to be a blessing to somebody else, man. And that's just awesome. It's awesome. I wanted to, kind of ask, like, what are some of your aspirations or goals for Kick Dreams United right now, today, as it stands? You've been around for, like, I believe you said over a decade now. Where do you see this expanding to? What would be a dream partnership? Now, I mean, of course, we could say if Nike pick up the phone and call you right now, what a blessing that would be. You know what I'm saying? But what are some of your thoughts and dreams surrounding this organization as it stands today?
Man, listen, thank you for asking that. And ironically, I'm gonna tell you how good God is, bro. We've been partnered with Nike twice, man.
Oh, already. Well, excuse me.
That's the Father, bro. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Listen, we've been blessed enough to be partnered with Vans, Charm City Run. They're our biggest donators. Fleet Feet, a couple Uptown Cheapskates in the area. It's a team effort, bro. But I want to share something real quick too that we were talking about in regards to the couple that had just lost their twins. Listen. This is my first time talking publicly about that. It is hard, but I think like you said, pain is an invitation. It's an invitation for growth, and if I'm going through it, I know somebody else went through it, right? So the Spirit told me, even just in this podcast, go ahead and share that story. Just as clear as day, share that story that you just had with that couple, man, because whoever's watching could be going through that now, man. So it's all about being selfless, even beyond sneakers. Because people are struggling, man. People are struggling. I've had my struggles with anxiety so much where I had to go in the hospital, bro. So I've had talks with the Father. Listen, you get me out of this, I'm your man. Yeah. So my discomfort, I'm all right. I'll be all right. It's bigger than Tony. It's bigger than all that perceived. We got to keep this image. I don't care nothing about that. Yeah. It's about somebody else who's going through pain. They can't even basically go get their meal, lost their appetite, don't feel like they could even get out the bed. I want to speak to that person. I need to talk about how we've been blessed before I could ask for any more blessings. Kick Dreams is a mom and pops, bro. It's me, my wife, my parents, and my friends, man. And we put the work in, man. Listen, I used to wash the shoes, watch 100 pairs by myself, dry them, everything, pick up the shoes, all that. We recently just hired a few staff members that every week they go to 11, 12 different locations and pick up shoes for us from the donators. Because I just can't do it by myself anymore. God blessed us with that, man. People who wash the shoes for us and everything. So that's big for us because we used to do everything ourselves, but you just can't do everything. So we've been blessed to expand our team to be able to expand our giving efforts. But look, big bro, man, we want a warehouse, man. We want a warehouse to be able to have the space to store all these shoes in a capacity where we could even wash the shoes in our warehouse. That'd be a blessing. We want to continue what we're doing. I think a lot of times people ask you, where you see yourself in 5, 10 years? I see what we're already doing. I feel like we've already been successful, but I think if we had a warehouse, I wouldn't have to pay for storage. We have our own. We
Mm-hmm.
could bring interns in to have them sort through the shoes and, have bookkeeping, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I would love for us to have a Kick Dreams like bus. We already have a van, which is a blessing, but just imagine we pack some shoes in the bus, man, get a few people. We go on tour, man, Philly,
Yeah.
Cali, Jersey, wherever. Make a weekend out of it. So that and just being open to whatever God wants us to do.
Yeah.
I'm cool. Whatever He tells me to do, I'm cool with. That's success to me, is what He's telling me to do.
Yeah. Likewise, man.
Yeah.
We can always have our own aspirations and dreams, and then y'all step in with something different and kind of throw a wrench in our plans. But what we sometimes are late to realize is that his plans far exceed our own, and they end up giving us exactly what we want, like more so than what we thought we wanted, and he's very exceptional at doing that because he already sees the end from the beginning. So he knows about the desires. He knows about the want for the warehouse and the bus, man. And, I'm not into cliche prophesying and all that type of stuff, man, because as the spirit moves, that's how we flow. But just the fact that you were able to verbalize that today here on this podcast on June 25th at 11:20 something a.m. in the morning, man. I want us to be conscientious to not only hold faith, because I'm going to lock in with you and come into agreement that you're going to receive those things. But when it happens, we're going to look back on this episode and this conversation and be like, yo, I spoke it and the Most High brought it to pass, man. Why? Because just like we started this conversation, we're both doing and operating for the kingdom in our own various areas. You know what I'm saying? We're doing it as kingdom work, man. And that's what's profoundly impactful, man. So, yeah, man. Hey, listen.
Man, talk to him, Brad, man. I hate Grandpa coming out, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it happens every now and again,
man. Yes, sir.
It happens every now and again, man. I can't hold back, what he put in me, man. I'm like you. I do as he tells me to do. And every time I find a guest for my podcast, it typically happens like that. I'll come across a post or some type of interaction with an individual who I've known for a long time. I've seen what they're doing. And then the spirit will just say, man, talk to them about a possible episode. So I reach out. And everything happens after that. It seems to be all orchestrated. It comes together perfectly, just like this conversation, man. But what I do want to do, before we jump out of here, I want you to go ahead and tell the good people how to connect with you, the best place to find out about Kick Dreams United, any social media tags that you have. I want to go ahead and get that for the people. It's also going to be in the details section of this video when you see it, but I want you to go ahead and give it to them anyway.
Absolutely, man. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube at Kick Dreams United. We're on Instagram and YouTube for now. Facebook, I have posts, but they're under my name, Tony Hardy. And I'd say Instagram and YouTube are probably the best streams that way. You could also go straight to our website. It's www.kickdreamsunited.com. And you're going to see Mama Hardy and I. You're going to see Pops. You're going to see wife. You're going to see my man Mike, Kristen. You're going to see the team, man. We family, and we just want to serve. And as my great-grandfather always told us, man, is to keep looking up.
Hey, look, Tone. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I was going to ask, what's the last, what's a good word you want to leave with the people, but you gave it to me, man. Always keep your head to the sky. Always look up, keep your eyes on the Father, man. And I can't add or take away nothing from that, man. So this has been the BTonez Podcast with another profound episode with my man, Tony Hardy, head of Kick Dreams United. You've heard what they're doing. You see what I'm doing. If you want to support, you can click the subscribe button, or you can click or put in your browser, BTonez.com, to find out all my information, all my socials, and you can follow me there. But until then, may the Most High bless and keep you, and we'll see you on the next one. Blessings.